Is that too loud for everyone? Oh, that's feedback. Too loud at the limit. Oh, all right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Starlight Cafe for Lynchburg Underground Poetry Reading and music show featuring music on. We really are blessed to be able to open for them. They are great musicians. So make sure you stick around for that. We are some folks that read poetry together, and we are excited that you're here. We would really love it if while poets are reading, you all could focus in and listen, because it gets real distracting and confusing if you're talking over us. Thank you so much. Great. It's my job to just sort of kick this thing off. So I'm going to let Gloria have the mic in just a second, but our first reader after she speaks will be Noah McMillan, and he's going to do his thing. So be gracious, be loving, enjoy.
Hey there. I'm sure you've seen my face already, but I'm Noah McMillan, and I write poetry. I guess really I'm just a human being who likes art, so I'm an artist. If that's the label that you want. I like to bring abstract thoughts out of my mind and try and relate them in a earthly way, a way that people can understand. Maybe just any kind of crazy thought that comes into my head, and just bring it down to reality and put it on paper, and then speak it verbally to an audience so that people can feel maybe a little bit outside themselves, and at that moment maybe feel a sense of ecstasy or a sense of godlike nature that can then lead to further expansion of the mind and the heart and just life itself. No limits, like Master P said, right?
I have 7 poems. The puzzle. I am life. I am a dream. I have a time in this conscious stream. I breathe a breath that delivers me life. I own a heart that bleeds with strife. I'm under a sun that warms my skin. I have a light which shines within. There is a melody that is sung to me. I interact and add a harmony. Upon this foundation I've built a city where I dwell in this never-ending eternity. If the walls and buildings were to tumble and fall, I swear I would have no care at all. For I am more than just a city or a nation. I am of everything that is an incarnation. In all things I see a mirror. Using love I see myself clearer. My mind is infinite and so is yours. To see this truth, take frequent tours outside the boundaries you've set in space, while remaining yourself in the comfort of home base. Remember to be in love with every moment. This time is yours, learn to own it. I end on a note for you to ponder. The truth is deeper than any words I could conjure. A romantic's plea. The love of another, for this I long. Upon first glance, this could seem wrong. The consolation of life I do know, but to share such the imagination should only flow. Until the eyes of the blind can see, I suppose I shall only know me. I write not with loneliness of mine, but a heart full of light to shine, to bring gaiety and cheer to flight. Could such a dream exist? It might. I remain with hopeful and eager eyes, until I catch my maiden's cries. My love, may your lingering end, for I am here to be your closest friend. This one's called Staccato. It's about, it's not about my dog, but it's featured and inspired by my dog. Staccato. He is resting upon the orange fluff. As I gander upon his lifeless state, I wonder if he thinks. I think mostly in English and in images. I also think in color, sound, scent, and memories. How does Staccato think? How do you think? Maybe a lot of the problems we run into deal with the way we think. I feel as well. What does Staccato feel? There is tangible feeling and there's untangible feeling. Is Staccato able to feel the untangible? How often does this untangible feeling pull me from reality, the imagination? Reality? Define this, please. If you can, let me know. I am lost and cannot be found until my lost crosses paths with another being's lost. In that moment we dance together until I am then again lost with my alone. We are all alone together, ironic but true. Thanks, Staccato. Up in a tree. I'm up in a tree, just being me, writing and thinking and feeling free. No one to stop me or tell me no. Nothing to do and nowhere to go. The moss on the bark, oh what a glow. As I think, the words flow through my pen, onto the paper, and back to me again. This moment fills my being with ecstasy, and finds me in love with the God in me. And then you ask, what could give me such glee? Well, I'm up in a tree, just being me. The present. The clock is ticking, and I am itching to move to the next while holding tight to life being put to rest. I'm stuck between the two, never knowing what to do. I know what I've done, but have no clue of what's to come. I know where I've been and who I am, and for now I believe this is the plan. So here I stay, and if I may, I think everything will be okay. I'm grasping at straws and letting go. I guess I'll just sit back and enjoy the show.
Y'all want to hear it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called Let's Go Fishing.
Are you gonna read it tomorrow?
Yep. I'm going to go fishing for a thought and come back to show you what I've caught.
When you see what it is and where I've been, you may not ever be the same again. I'll cook it up and serve you a feast. You'll be full for 3 days at least. At first, your banquet could be a little confusing, but as you digest, you'll be amusing your mind with more thoughts of its kind. Now that you've been where I went, and considering this space is leased for rent, you can set up camp if you'd like, then take a trip and go for a hike. Take your pole down to the stream and catch another thought for us to dream. Meaningless? I've come to speak to you about a kingdom, a world and life full of love and freedom, a land where heart and soul ring true, and the word God is shared by everyone too. A place where life is celebrated in all moments, and purpose is found in all, even rodents. This place is not a world to imagine, but one to just step forward and begin. Ask me why I've chosen to tell you this? Because I don't want you to think it's all meaningless. Thank you.
I don't even know what that smells like. I'm gonna go check this out.
This is
My name
Cryface.
My name is Ashton.
What do you do?
I write shit.
Who do you do?
And she also does photography and painting.
Yeah. I take pictures and I paint and I draw and I don't do math. I don't cook. I've never had a really awesome romantic experience, so I write about them.
So you write about romance.
Yes.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that's about it.
And people like it?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
you hear me?
Yes.
This close? Okay. I write these things called romances, and they're all kind of in situations that you find yourself every day, or maybe not all of you every day, but you know, it's a situation that a lot of people find themselves in, and you make eye contact with somebody, or you hear someone's voice, and you just have this brief little tangent that your mind goes off on. And I don't really know how many I have, but I'm going to read some of them. Taxicab romance. I can't help but watch her in my rearview mirror. Her long, flowing hair pours over her shoulders. Her hands are folded in her denim lap. Her eyes are brilliantly staring out the whistling window. My little bobble-headed Jesus laughs at me from the dash. This is the place. I brake and park, but I wish I could just keep driving. She tosses $17 from her silky fingers into my front seat. Keep the change. This is called Streetlight Romance. He sits on a bench beneath the streetlight, bugs and bats circling overhead. His newspaper blanket proves little cover as he sits on his public wooden bed. She clips along through the dark, little black heels sticking in the stone. The wind picks up and carries her on as she thinks about how she's all alone. The darkness breaks into this little yellow-lit bubble. A little black dress and an awkward glance. She slips on back through into the night, and the lonely little man again lost his chance. So, there's somebody here who is named Kate. And every time that I read this one, I always remember her. It's called Bus Stop Romance. I look up into his eyes. This must be pure fate. Sitting inside this glass box, I have found my soulmate. Now, if only he gets the nerves to ask me for a date. He stands with intentions, and I say, "My name's Kate." But he doesn't hear me, because he just hopped on bus 28. A window shopper romance. Stylish, she thought to herself. He's tall, lean, quite handsome. He's got a nice-looking tan and muscles like Samson. She kept examining this man, tilting her head from side to side, her mind carrying her away to him, her sunset and morning tide. She imagined them picnicking. She envisioned them hammocking. Then she reminded herself, he's only a mannequin. So this is called Tea Room Romance. I ordered Darjeeling Black. He ordered Thailand Chai. We both carried classic novels. This is my type of guy. He cracked open his Poe, I cracked open my Hemingway, and I almost asked him out until he said, "Hey girl, hey!" I look into her big brown eyes. I touch her silky hair. I nuzzle her nose to mine. She is truly divine. I decide to cross our fates, and I say, "You're coming with me." Then I reach out to give her a cuddle, and in her excitement, she left a puddle. Pet shop romance. Wrong number romance. It rang 3 times. Unknown caller ID. Should I ignore it, or should I see? "Hello," I say. "Hello," she replies. Static interrupts and the phone call dies. I'll never forget that voice. She would never remember. That call was made in June, and now it's late December. He's a pretty cool-looking guy. Strong, lean, slouching on the bench-style seat parallel to the spinning glass doors which hold 100 people's clothing. Bearded, faded tattoos lining his forearms and shin bones. Maybe, just maybe I should speak. Oh, courage, be my friend. Boldness, comfort me. Feet carry me ahead, and mouth open with graceful words. He stands, scoops up his beautifully stained t-shirts from the dryer and walks out, laundry bag over shoulder. Damn it. shameless romance. All right. Beneath the cardboard chandelier, next to the chair with the scratch veneer, a gluttonous, filthy river just outside the rear, and the noise from the traffic is all you hear. A newspaper blanket contains little heat, and there's a tiny fire by his feet. And taped to the back of the abandoned seat is the picture of the woman he'd love to re-meet. She's smiling through ruby red lips, but his memory of her slowly slips. So he lifts the bottle and casually sips, when between his fingers the picture rips. She's gone forever and forever gone, taking with her the brightest sun, and without her the purpose of life is none. So he opens his mouth and picks up his gun.
What?
Yeah, true. Okay,
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, we don't
What
know.
is your
You guys
name?
Make it up.
My name's Andrew Borsay.
What do you do?
What do you mean?
Artsy shit.
Oh, I write stories that are usually pretty silly.
And people like them?
No?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
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 How do you feel writing them?
Well, no, not that.
Don't give us more jobs of editing this thing.
Yeah, I know, right? What do I feel when I write them? I feel great expectations.
Okay, good. I can't think of anything else to ask you.
Yep, I agree.
I think this is it for that one, maybe.
Thank you.
All right. Our next performer, or reader as it were, is, his name rhymes with Schmandrew Jorge. You got it. And if he doesn't make you laugh, that's okay.
A microphone. Hey, how you doing? All right. Let's see if I got everything together here. I'm gonna call this originality. I decided to write something original. Ready? Let's start. Once upon a time. No, that's not gonna work. That's just not gonna work. I get it. Call me Ishmael. No. I'm gonna try something else. I'm going fishing for a thought. No, I can't use that. No, I just can't do that. That's a good one, but I can't use it. I got it. How about this? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. No, I think that one's been used also. Let me try something different. I'm a sick man. I'm a spiteful man. I'm an unattractive man. I believe my liver is diseased. No, that's all a lie. Wait, is it? I don't feel so good. I'm gonna give up. That's my first one. My name is Andrew Borsay. Junior had never been on a plane before. He had never been so excited. As he was dragged through the airport, his eyes shot everywhere all at once. She pulled his arm with a hard jerk, an effort to keep him moving. The people, the smells, the buzz of the airport quickly captured his curious attention. As he was led through the maze of people, he noticed that no one was paying any attention to him. He started to feel as if he was becoming invisible. He decided to test his theory out on some poor, unsuspecting dummy. He searched for one as she dragged him to a row of chairs. As he'd been sat down, he quickly turned about, looking for an adequate test dummy. 2 seats down, he saw a very fat man taking up 2 whole seats. He watched the fat man looking back and forth at a magazine, and then at the arrival departure screen. Perfect. Junior thought he would start off with some very mild testing. He looked straight at the fat man's chubby face and quietly said, "Hey." Nothing happened. Maybe he didn't hear me. Hey! The fat man moved, but instead of turning and saying anything, the fat man bent down and reached for his briefcase. He slowly opened the briefcase, and then he pulled out of the briefcase the biggest earphones which Junior had ever seen. He then put them right over his fat little ears. After watching this, Junior thought to himself, "Now he'll never hear me." It was time for a different test. Out of pure devilment, Junior grinned while searching his pockets. He then pulled 2 shiny marbles out of his lint traps. He was ready for the second test. He let the first one fly. It sailed through the air and hit the fat man's shoulder and fell to the floor. Junior waited. The fat man's face turned red, his mouth opened, and next page. His mouth opened, and he started to shake. Just a little bit. But still, he did not acknowledge Junior's presence. Junior started to worry. Soon his imagination was controlling all his thoughts. Maybe I really am invisible. He looked at his last marble and thought, this is my last chance. He took aim and chucked it as hard as he could. The marble flew straight, right at the fat man's face. But Junior leaned over the side of his chair, eagerly waiting for the fat man to turn and look. It never happened. Instead, the fat man just rubbed his bruised head, tucked his magazine under his arm, reached for his briefcase, and then he stood up and walked away. Before Junior even had time to think, he was being dragged again. Soon he found himself on this first plane ever. But Junior was much more interested in his possible invisibility. As he stumbled through the narrow row of seats, he looked to his left and then to his right. No one seemed to notice him. Junior was very quickly going crazy. He stopped at one seat, begged for help, but there was none. He only had one glimmer of hope when he stopped at the seat of the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. He stood there in the aisle staring at her without shame. He just seemed to stare right back. She just seemed to stare right back. And right at the last second, he noticed her eyes follow his as he was pulled to the back of the plane. Maybe I'm not invisible. At the back of the plane, Junior's insanity kept growing. It was a much different kind of crazy. It was time for his third and final test. Chapter 4. The fat man hated kids, and today was no exception. He was on a business trip, and he was planning on a nice and quiet flight. But as soon as he sat down to wait for his flight, this plan quickly fell apart. Some little brat, 2 seats down from him, had started to whisper at him. The fat man, however, had a plan. Maybe if I just ignore him, he'll shut up. This plan also fell apart. The little brat started to talk louder and louder, and soon he was yelling. The fat man devised another, even better plan. Earphones. Not any ordinary earphones, no. These were Megaphone 5000s. They were big, they were loud, but most of all, when wearing them, the fat man could not hear anything at all. That'll show him, he thought, stupid little brat. This plan also fell apart. As soon as the marble came flying out of nowhere, the fat man realized this also. That stupid little brat son of a... Even before the fat man had time to finish his thought, his own thoughts, another marble came flying full speed, directed right for his face. Flap! The fat man finished his thought. Itch! It was the last straw. He had now 2 very different plans quickly go through his head. He had never strangled anyone, let alone a child, so he decided to go with the second plan. He grabbed his suitcase, stood up, and left. The fat man soon found himself boarding the plane. As he squeezed himself between the narrow aisles, he fantasized about the possibility of child slavery. They're obviously not learning manners in school, he thought, so why not put them to use? The fat man pictured himself dressed like Caesar, sitting in a chariot that was being pulled by a group of children, all chained together. The fat man almost smiled, but soon he forgot about the ridiculous fantasy as he reached his seat. The fat man had planned to keep his briefcase in the overhead due to the need for extra leg room, but he soon realized this might not be possible. Determined to find some space in the already full overhead, he started to push and then violently jamming the briefcase in the only tiny space left. Do you need me to move? The fat man noticed the man sitting in the window seat, awkwardly leaning to his side against the other seat. What? I mean, I could find another seat, and then you could put your bag under mine. The fat man thought it was strange that the young man didn't even look up at him while he spoke. Instead, he spoke with his head turned around, as if he was in a trance with something he had seen in the back of the plane. Out of pure curiosity, the fat man also looked to the back of the plane, wondering what it was that had captured the young man's attention. The fat man gazed at the crowd, and soon he saw the most attractive girl he had ever seen. She was a classic beauty. Long, dark hair, beautiful brown eyes, perfect smile, and a naked little boy running down the aisle. Chapter 5. It was the third test. It was the last straw, and it was the perfect excuse. Yes, Junior had gone completely crazy, and he had stripped off all his clothes. He thought this was a good test. No one can ignore me if I'm going to run around naked around the plane. This, of course, had pushed the fat man over the edge, and he also started to go crazy. He started to chase the naked boy with the cord of his earphones. He tried whipping him, while at the same time yelling, "I will make you my slave, you little brat." This, of course, was unacceptable, and he was soon escorted off the plane. Junior was also escorted off the plane. They had caught him in the cockpit, asking the bewildered pilots, "Can you see me?" After assuring him that they could see him, in fact, probably more than they wanted, they then put a blanket over him and took him out of the plane while he mumbled about how he was sorry and how he thought he had been invisible. During this insanity, all the passengers started to talk among themselves, and Sam used this as the perfect excuse for introducing himself to the beautiful girl. "Can you believe that just happened?" "Yeah, that was ridiculous."